Hey, so I've been covering the interior of the Bearhawk and made quite a lot of progress in the last 3 days. So started sort of Sunday evening and we're now up to Wednesday night. So this is the progress so far. This is on the left-hand side, obviously viewed from the outside, and it's the interior covering. So it's actually a little bit awkward to do because you've got to spend quite a lot of time clambering inside the plane, and it's not that easy. I don't think having it on a rotisserie would necessarily help. Obviously mine's not on a rotisserie. I've got the wooden frame on the front here. I did consider rolling it onto its side, but that doesn't solve the problem because then you can't climb inside it. You can't actually get inside it. So I've just left it up this way, and yeah, got the job done anyway, and pretty happy with how it's turned out. So I started on the ceiling here, and did these triangles on each side here, the butterfly triangles in the cathedral ceiling. And the reason I did those first is just the way that the fabric wraps around the tubes. It's not that obvious until you come to cover your Bearhawk and you sit there and you think, how am I going to do this? And then it starts to become a bit more obvious. Once I had done the both the butterfly triangles on the side, I then did the forward and aft triangles, and they are only wrapped on the forward cross tube there and the rear cross tube back here. So inside you can see some of the detail there, and I'll angle it up to the ceiling. It's all come out quite nicely. Okay, and down there, so you can see some of it's a dark green color, which is the color of the Stewart Systems glue. And the reason for these panels here, what I've actually done is gone over and done a double layer, because it's all done in the lightweight polyfiber fabric. This is the cargo compartment at the rear. And it occurred to me that if we're sort of throwing fishing rods and packs and rifles and stuff in there, sooner or later it's going to get damaged. So what I've done is I've doubled it up, used the methods actually on the Stewart Systems site now, and also on Mike Patey's videos. So it's worth looking at. You can also do it on the empennage or anywhere that you're going to cover with fabric. If you want to double up, it's actually pretty easy to do. It wasn't hard. Spent quite a lot of time seam taping everything up, particularly where I thought there was wear points, and there was quite a few little places that you don't really think about that I just wanted to strengthen up, and so it's come out quite well. And now the other thing that I've done, I played around with a core flute panel. Core flute is it's what all the real estate agents make their signs out of. This is core flute here, or corrugated cardboard. Goes by a variety of different names. That was a template that I made up. It actually fit very, very well. And I've just finished making this piece here up. So let's give it a go. I've had it in a couple of times and just been adjusting the shape of it. It's very, very strong, stronger than what you think it's going to be. Actually quite hard to cut. It's that strong, so that fits really well. I've got good joints here, and all I'm going to do is just poke holes through with either a needle or a hot wire. In fact, I did try to cut it with a hot wire. It doesn't cut that well. I thought it would melt just like styrene, but it doesn't. I ended up cutting it with just a Stanley knife. It cut out okay. Just had to take my time. So that's going to come up really well, and I think I'm actually going to tape the edges of it just with the Stewart Systems tape and glue. That'll give it a nice finish. I've already sprayed a section of the core flute just to see what it sprayed like, and I did one with primer and one without primer. Both of them worked very, very well. Actually really hard to get the paint off afterwards. So it's very lightweight, very, very strong. I mean, you can see just, look, it's got a grain to it, so it will bend with the grain, but it's not going to bend against the grain. I mean, you can really knock this stuff around, and it takes quite a beating. If you tried to do that with aluminium, you'd have dents all over the place. So I'm going to go with that. I've made a command decision. That's my rear bulkhead. Very happy with how it's all gone. So from here, there's just a little bit of tidying up to do. Some of the detail, I've just got to finish this rear window over here. I'm fairly sure that this has got to be tucked in here, but I'm just going to check with a couple of guys and make sure that I'm going to do it correctly. And if that's the case, I'll glue it, use a little bit of wax paper and just push it in there and leave it to dry. And overall very happy. The next stage is then to roll it on its side and cover the bottom and the top on the exterior. And look forward to starting that in a couple of days. Okay, so yeah, it's 11:15 at night, so I'm off to bed.